Welcome to Elevated Wisdom, where we transcend and go beyond the subconscious. Welcome to Elevated Wisdom, where we transcend and go beyond the subconscious. Welcome to Elevated Wisdom, where we transcend and go beyond the subconscious. Welcome to Elevated Wisdom, where we transcend and go beyond the subconscious.
Man, that's what I do.
Let's go, let's go. We got the mic on good. We got the PCs looking good. The cameras are looking good. And we're back with another beautiful episode of Elevated Wisdom. I got my boy Ahmad Jermaine in the house. What up, man?
What's up, baby?
Another day, another dollar, baby. Yeah. So we're here. We got Snip and Hammer right away, showing support, and Hatso as well. Thank you for coming in on the kick side.
Thank you, Snipping.
Indeed, indeed. The fam is here and we're strong, baby. Tonight we have a special video made by yours truly, Manan Affiliates, and it's out on the YouTubes right now. So what we're gonna do is play the video real quick for you guys, let you enjoy it. I know for a fact that I have not yet gotten a chance to truly get a chance to see it, so I'm excited to see it for the first time. We get a full reaction video, kind of like a 2-for-1 special here today. So without any further ado, we're gonna check that out and get this conversation going. Let's see. Boom. Right, we're gonna cover up the homie real quick, just cause we have it here. All right, let's
After
get
me.
it.
I will not stress about things I cannot control. I will not rush things that are taking longer than I expect. Everything will unfold in its timing, and I accept that. Repeat after me.
I'm gonna watch it one more time.
I will not stress about things I cannot control. I will not rush things that are taking longer than I expect. Everything will unfold in its timing, and I accept that.
Man, look at them fucking pancakes, man.
Delightful. But aside from the pancakes, the message there. Oof. Let's see where to start. Let's start at the beginning, right? Letting things be. Hold on.
Repeat after me.
1 sec. Gotta listen to it
I will
again.
not
Really
stress
get it.
about things I cannot control.
I will not stress over the things I cannot control. Yesterday alone, this whole week, it's coming towards the end of school for me. And I feel so stressed out over things I had control over in the past that I decided to slack off or not feel like it's important enough to get ahead of it or whatever, right? And now I have all this extra unnecessary stress on myself and creating these things that aren't really there. And so that beginning part, things I cannot control, is one thing, but stressing over the things that I can control is a whole nother monster as well. And either way, once I know that I'm able to let it go, they both can have the power to completely disappear, right? So that's the first. Let me finish the second part.
I will not rush things that are taking longer than I expect.
Rushing because of expectations. I have beaten myself up over the fact that I've taken this long to finish college. And I'm not a doctorate or anything like that to say, yeah, it's taken 20 years to achieve my double doctorate in physics and I'm about to, you know what I'm saying? It's nothing like that. Like, no, I'm just to be able to say I graduated college. It has taken me to get my associates over 20 years. And I could have easily gotten it 20 years ago. Now that I'm going through it, the little bit of knowledge, and I wouldn't say little bit, the knowledge that I'm getting now, I am taking it so much further than I would have taken it 20 years ago. And I say that to say that although it has taken me this long, I am now appreciating everything about everything, and hence is making the learning that much better. And so that speaks to me because if it, it goes to a lot of things in life that I do, that I see people doing. And so allowing things to be what they need to be, not being so judgmental for one, being so quick, two, taking so long, or whatever the situation is, letting it be what it is to be. And that's it, right? Not having the emotional attachment to a situation or expectation of some sort. So let me finish the last bit of the video.
Everything will unfold in its timing, and I accept that.
Everything unfolds in its timing, and I accept that. That acceptance is the harder truth for me. And I say that because it's easier to say I accepted something, but it's extremely difficult to have truly accepted something and not have an emotional reaction, right? I can say, oh yeah, I'm over the fact that my ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend cheated on me. I'm over that. But now, every relationship that you're in, they're all cheaters and they're all this, and you got to go through their phones. So are you really over it? Right? Am I really over that? If I feel that I cannot trust people because one person cheated on me, that's not giving up. In my opinion, that's not getting over that thing. You may want, and that's how easy it is for me to fool myself that I have accepted something, and when in reality it's just another fallacy that I tell myself. And so that was a strong video. And hey, baby angel, how you doing? I hope you're well. Congrats to baby angel. She just recently had a baby. That is a miracle, and out there, moving and grooving and moving stuff like nuts. But and that goes to in the conversation as well, right? The acceptance of like, yeah, I just had a baby, I had all this, but I have things to do. I am in pain, but I got things to do, and I'm gonna do them because now I have people dependent on me. And when we are able to accept the situation that we are in, it is easier for us to understand what the next step is. That doesn't make it easier to take the step. It just makes it easier to understand what that next step is. Then you have to figure out what you need to do to get what I need to figure out to get the motivation that I need to get that next step going. And I want to stop there because I want to give you some time to input
Well,
your
I was
thoughts.
gonna say just kind of what you just said. The question will always be: is the juice worth the squeeze?
Mm.
Right?
What do you mean by that?
You know, um, is is the suffering that I'm gonna go through worth it?
Mm.
What 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 I'm doing at the end of it, can I use that to help myself? What is the purpose of me even doing it?
Mm.
And that was something I was listening to Manly P. Hall,
What
and
does he do? Who is that?
he wrote the Secret Ages of Man.
Nice. Okay, go continue. Continue.
He he is a 33 degree Mason. Uh, Wrote plenty of books. Obviously, he was born in the early 1900s. I think he died in the 80s, maybe 70s. I don't have like his whole thing, but I've been listening to a lot of his lectures. And this particular lecture was it was done in 1963,
Okay.
and it was talking about how to stop negative thinking, and he hit a big topic, man. And he's like, basically, our issue is we don't have discernment. We don't have that clarity of what is truth for us, the
Mm.
meaning for us, who we are, why, that compassion for others. It's all centered around I and what I'm supposed to do to fit in society. And the fact that man, for the most part, is simple. Now I have all these technological advances that make my life so much easier, but yet I don't understand how to regulate my emotions to fit in this new world. And if
Mm.
I'm still self centered, because that's what the previous generations show you, right? You combined all that, you have people wandering, searching for meaning through religion and all these other facets in life, and obtaining now materialism to achieve some form of success, but they have not sat down to say what success is to themselves.
Mm.
I thought that was huge. I think that's a big thing, honestly. That word discernment, man. Having that ability to navigate your own life, thoughts, and what are your priorities, what's important to you, who do you want to be.
Mm.
And most of us don't take those time to even think of those questions, let alone try to answer those.
Very
um,
true.
and I know that I can speak because that's definitely what happened to myself. I as a younger person, I had a better idea where I was and who I was, and then the middle part of my life, I lost myself, and I
Mm.
started to want to fit into a society that never made sense to me, but I wanted to be successful. But I never thought what was success to me. It was just based off of the first thing was what, $60,000 a year,
Okay.
80K was good,
Mm.
and then you had to have a house. Then you get married, have kids, and then you get
Mm.
all this debt. Oh, you need to go to school. Oh, well, if you're in the military, you got to go as far as you can go, and you need to obtain,
It was always the
a
next
sergeant
step.
major. Yeah, and and before you know it, you're chasing all these things that you never wanted in the first place, just
Mm.
to be accepted, or to for others who don't matter to say, "Oh yeah, he's a success. This guy, he's doing it." Where in reality, nobody cares. Nobody's paying attention
Yeah.
because they're doing their own thing, right? They're focused on what they're doing for the most part,
Mm.
and that's where I had to, when I had my little epiphany, I sat back and I was like, man, I've been damn near killing myself to meet expectations and to be a person to emulate what I thought success was supposed to be
Mm.
in a world of reality that isn't even real. All everything that I was told that I would thought was true and believed and I focused on, and I was, I'm doing this for a noble cause, and you turn out to see that it's all smoke and mirrors. Even the shit my parents taught, I thought that was the way, and then I realized that ain't the way.
Mm.
It's not a bad way, but there is no set way to do anything in life.
That part.
It's just all processes, and you have to figure out what process works best for you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's for everything. We're so quick to tell ourselves we're dumb or we don't get it or we don't, this isn't interesting, but you haven't sat down to get the why for
Mm-hmm.
yourself.
You haven't found the thing that
We're
interests you.
so correct. We're so
Mm-hmm.
eager to be entertained.
Mm.
And if you're entertained, that means what? You're not using your brain,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And so, well, back to the reason I put it together, and it kind of goes back to that because for a long time I did try and control every aspect of my life, especially when things were falling apart. I
Mm.
tried even harder.
Mm-hmm.
My marriage was falling apart. I get divorced. Um, you know, kids, you want them to come with you, but they don't. They're not spending time like you would like. So now I'm trying to force everything and dictate how everything's gonna go,
Mm.
so I don't get hurt. So I can say I achieved and did these things. I took the time, you know.
It was
But in
me. Look,
reality,
everybody, it was me.
yeah, yeah, ego driven,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, you realize everything in life there you have no control. The only thing you can control are your thoughts and reactions. That's it.
Yeah. No, I mean,
That's it, man.
yeah.
Truthfully,
The
you know.
funny part of that is that most of us share that, right? Like, it. Usually, the people that are the ones that let's go anime freak in the house and snipping. Most of us that say I don't like drama are the ones that enjoy the drama the most, or usually you find
Hmm.
them in drama the most. The things that we're the ones that say we're quickly to speak on for the most part. I've come to find out a lot of people that I've dealt with, those are exactly the things. If they dislike, those are the things that they attract or are around. If they're working to not be something, that's exactly what the vibes that they bring, right? And so
Hmm.
it's funny to me when I hear people like, oh, I'm antisocial and I don't want to deal with people, but I'm here streaming and trying really hard to entertain you for money, right? And that oxymorons we see or I see in life in every aspect of life. And so how do we how do I stop judging what's happening outside of me and truly be honest with myself and what's happening with me and in my perception of this human experience? Because I am quick to put the blame on everybody else. I'm pissed because such and such did this. I'm sad because such and such did that. And I'm this because da 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 did this, right?
Yeah.
Wherever have I stopped and said, well, I'm happy because I keep choosing shit that makes me unhappy. I'm keep getting angry because I put myself in positions to practice self-control, and instead I react with anger. But rather than realize that I put the blame on these people, oh, these people make me angry, and that's just what it is. And never once do I take responsibility for my actions on that. And I've come to see that a lot of people that speak to me and ask for assistance or have want to feedback in their lives and whatnot, that is the one thing that we go back to. And so, at the end of the day, I practice now on bringing it back to me and quit worrying about the world. And I'm not saying that I'm basically levitating in this world, not fucking getting mad at anybody and not being bothered and everything is great. Not at all. I laugh because I tell my stories on how I keep blowing up in class and this and but through all this stuff I still practice Zen Buddhism. I still practice positive affirmations. I still practice breath work. I'm doing all these things that I preach about, and all those things are now keeping me in a lifestyle that I love. And I'm finding out that is something that I thought it was impossible. Just like most people look at my life and they're like, oh man, this dude's rich. This dude goes around the world and does these things. I'm rich in belief in myself. If people knew what I lived like financially, people would be like, how do you do all the things that you do? Because I believe in myself. I don't need $1 million to have a business. Most people believe that they do, so they don't go for a business because they're like, no, I don't have the money to do that. Right? That is the difference. That is the huge difference there. And so I want to stop there to ask you, what is the difference for you now in your acceptance? How is acceptance affecting you with the people or the people that are around you, those closest to you?
I truly believe that we act sitting down, we're all reflections of each other. And what I try and do now is when I get annoyed or irritated, I was that person that was annoying and irritating someone else. I was the person getting annoyed.
Mm.
I'm also the person being calm. I'm also the person getting angry. And I'm thinking of those four things, right? And how would I want someone to react to me?
Mm.
And that is what is helping me as far as that acceptance. And as far as the judging, I don't know if it ever truly stops, but it doesn't have to be negative though.
Mm.
You can judge somebody in a positive way. And you can judge someone and say, man, I don't see how they do it. But if they enjoy it, I'm cool with it. You like it, I love it. And leave it at that.
Mm.
But as far as the complaint, like I don't agree. When you start putting your own beliefs and personal opinions on the judging, I think that's when it turns negative and it gets a little more personal than it should be. And most of the time, for me, if I catch myself saying something kind of negative about someone, that's because they're either doing something that I don't have the balls to do,
Ooh.
or I don't have the confidence yet to do it. And
Mm.
there's a little bit of jealousy and envious of what they're doing because I don't have that. I don't believe in myself yet to do that at that level.
Mm. You
And
believe you
that was
don't have the
something
ability.
no, the ability is there. I don't have the belief in myself to take the action.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I'm still paralyzed by the fear of me
Mm.
trying to do that.
Got it.
And that's why I said, so I realized that watching a couple YouTube videos, and I was like, man. So since then, I just give everybody a round of applause, and whether it's a really great, whether it's really bad, I'm just happy to see somebody taking action, and they're not afraid of whatever the consequence may be. They're
Mm.
just taking action. And that's where I'm striving to get to, where I don't have the expectation. I'm not looking for massive results. I'm just taking the step and taking the action to do it.
Mm. I like
So
that.
for me, that's where I'm at as far as the acceptance part. It's a daily thing, like all of this. It's a daily task. Some days are better than others, but I'm definitely trying to have empathy and more compassion to how would I want to be treated? How would I want to be looked at? How would I want to be talked about? Um,
Why is that
and
important to you?
huh?
Why is that important to you? What, like what you talked about, what the thing, you know what I mean? What you just said.
Well, again, if you're judging,
Mm.
it could be negative or positive, like I said. But a lot of times, if we're taking it on negative, like something will be said about you, right? I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying if it's directly said to me, that's
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
thinking about.
Gotcha, gotcha.
If if it's just somebody in their own head, I'll never know, so it doesn't
Mm.
really matter,
No,
you
I'm
know.
following. I'm following. Continue. I'm sorry.
So that's why I kind of brought up that one,
Mm-hmm.
because what I'm trying to do now is truly be honest with myself and give that full honesty to someone else. So if
Mm.
I'm willing to judge in my mind and say shit, I should be able to say it to the person.
Mm. Mm.
And that's where, is it necessary for me to say it? Is it worth offending or hurting or whatever it may be if it is my opinion? Now,
Mm.
if someone asks me, then it's obviously, then I can go ahead and tell them, like, hey, yeah, I think, this, and this.
Exactly.
And now, how they react to it, I'm not concerned with because they
Mm.
asked me for my opinion.
Mm.
And again, it's my opinion, it's my perspective. There is
Yeah.
no truth in it to anybody
Mm-hmm.
but myself.
Yeah.
That's just how I see it. And it doesn't mean I'm wrong. It doesn't mean they're wrong. It's just a different way we're looking at it.
Yeah. That
And
that makes
that's where that
sense.
acceptance can be.
Yeah. When you
Because
said that,
I can respect that.
I get it. My bad. I'm sorry to interrupt. I was gonna say the. I think that when you said that analogy that came to mind was somebody getting mad at the roller coaster conductor for the roller coaster being fast and scary, right? How,
Hmm.
unless somebody that asks you for your opinion, you're asking for it, getting mad for what you asked for makes no sense. And you feeling bad for giving your opinion to somebody that received it not well, isn't, it has nothing to do with you, so you shouldn't feel bad. And I hear that, and man, like really resonate with that, because that was a hard thing for me to deal with, right? That how they responded. And there were years in my life where I was the yes person because I wanted that person to like me. I wanted the person to continue to love me, and I don't wanted them to see me in any other
Yeah.
light but a supportive light,
In,
right?
inadequate.
Yeah, exactly. And so to then be in different positions overall, I definitely connected with that, and I'm glad you said it the way you said it, man. Very insightful. I want to write in here, I want to put in the link of the video as well, and I want to give a quick shout out to Z28. Camaro came in, hit that follow button, came in with the Intoxicated Fam now, so I appreciate you following the channel, bruh. Dislikes in the house, thank you for coming in, my friend. So for those watching, they're coming in and out, you're welcome to put in. You have questions, you want to know what we're talking about, you want to have anything that you want to participate in a way, please feel free to type in chat, and we'll definitely get to you. If you do have something that you want to talk about or give your wisdom about on perspectives, and or hear our perspectives on there, or have want to ask our feedback on something, we can add you here on the podcast, and we can have a conversation. So if you want to do that, we can set up a little interview and get that going, and then we can have you on the channel. We have it set up on the Discord, so all you would have to do is just join the Discord and get on the conversation. So that's going to be great. While we are doing this, I gotta get the link again and put it on the chat.
Hey, I was
Um,
gonna tell you to
yeah.
play that other video too. The
Oh, okay.
Since you ain't seen that one yet, just
Yeah,
the
let's see. Hold on. Okay, I got you. Let me see. Let me see. All right. So, this one here. Let me see.
There it is right there.
Hold on. Oh. Let me do this. Get this one here. I guess copy. And then we'll put this one. Baby Angel, what up, fam? Hope you well. Hope you well. Thanks for coming in. We're gonna watch
Appreciate it.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, you covered me up. Nobody wants to see me.
That's just for real quick. Just for real quicksies. All right, let's see. All right, this. Oh wait, we're gonna come all the way over here. There it is.
So,
Okay. Doing okay. How's y'all's Friday going? We're doing well. Having another beautiful elevated wisdom conversation. Today is a little
It's
mixture
about
of
freedom,
things.
man.
Indeed, freedom.
This video is about freedom.
Oh, okay. So let's check this this video out, Baby Angel, and let's see what you have to think about it.
This is Manannan Affiliates, and today we're delving into the depths of human existence. In this neon-lit maze of a city, we're constantly observed, our every move scrutinized and judged. Jean-Paul Sartre once said, "Hell is other people." But what did he mean? Sartre believed that our sense of self is defined by how others see us. In each encounter, people turn us into objects, limiting our freedom through their expectations and opinions. We become prisoners of their gaze, altering our behavior to meet their expectations. The key lies in authenticity. By embracing our true selves, we forge our own chains of freedom. In this digital age, we can find like-minded souls who share our values and ideals. So, while hell might be other people, paradise can be too. It's all in how we choose to connect.
Oop. That was dope. That was real dope. The part for me, the choosing, right, what this experience is going to be, the videos puts it heaven or hell. For me, I finally understand what that means. I understand the importance and the power that I have on creating the experience that I truly want or do not want. And that was a scary realization that now I feel like it sets me in a very isolated area. I don't feel like a lot of people are in the same awareness that I feel alone. Although there are many people out there that understand the same thing and going through the same stuff that I'm going through, for whatever reason, I feel isolated to that. But now that I see you making video like this, I can see how we share a lot of similarities. So what was going through your mind when you made that?
So I picked 3 of his, because he's made quite a few, that French philosopher, and it all dealt with freedom. And that one I chose because I believe it is true, especially in your teenage years. You don't really you don't know who you are, so you're searching for that identity. And sometimes we belittle ourselves or dim our light to fit in, or we won't be honest with certain things, or we won't be honest for ourselves. And we become a victim of being included, the exclusiveness of the sports guys, right? The jocks. I'm going to be with the jocks because they get access to all these things. And then but it goes further, because you do the same thing for your parents. You won't do something that you really enjoy because you want to make them proud.
Yeah.
They don't want you to be a musician. They want you to be a doctor or a lawyer. So now you put down those dreams, that something you probably are going to excel at because you really enjoy and want to do it. because they're telling you that's not a real job.
Mm.
I'd be so much prouder if you did this. And then let's go further. Now we're in a relationship. And all of us have done it in every single relationship, men and women both. You go along and do something that you have no interest in doing just because you want to make somebody else happy.
Mm.
And you're put in positions and situations you don't want to be in at all. But you say nothing to keep the peace. And because there's an expectation. If you're my husband, you're supposed to do this. If you're my boyfriend, you do this.
Mm.
And that's what kills me in relationships, because even though you try to sit down and have those conversations to see the boundaries, the left and right limits, some stuff always seems to pop up, doesn't it?
Mm.
That was never discussed, but yet you get bombarded for it, or they're mad at you for it, but it was never discussed. Well, you told me, and it's like, what? This was never discussed. Like, we never did any of those things. So I do believe, kind of what he was saying, that if you're not sure of yourself, you don't know who you are, you will be in a form of hell, because you're like a dancing monkey.
Mm-hmm.
You're constantly trying to please everybody else and
Yeah.
not yourself. And by doing that, it's just constant suffering and struggling. And then you look around, well, what is success? Same thing. Society's telling you what that is. It's not you saying what it is to you.
Mm-hmm.
So, like you said earlier, it does truly come back to that accountability of self, and having that awareness and understanding. What is it for you? What's
Mm.
going to make you feel good? What is success for you? And if you're not included in the group, are you okay with that?
Mm.
Why do you have to fit in?
Yeah.
Why is it important for society to see you as a success?
Exactly.
You know, and those are just those questions you got to sit and ask.
Those are good questions, because now those are the questions that I'm asking now, especially, relating it to this platform that we're doing now, streaming, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do I want to do? I caught myself doing similar things that I disliked about other streamers, right? That I
Mm-hmm.
had my own personal opinions. I'm like, oh, I wouldn't do. When I first started streaming, I'm like, oh, I wouldn't do those things. I'm not gonna do those things. And then I'm like, oh, well, I see people getting subs, and they're getting followers, and they're getting this because they're doing that stuff. And now I'm like, oh, well, I want to get those goals too. And because I want those goals too, because I feel like that's success in this platform. Followers, support, subs, money, all that, collaborations and all this other stuff. That's success in the streaming world. That's what I thought success was. And so I'm like, well, if that's that game that I have to play, then I have to do the subs. I have to do the subathons. I have to put on the things and do the shots, and like all these crazy things that are, well, I wouldn't say crazy, but all these different things that people are doing to entertain people is
Mm-hmm.
stuff that I don't want to do and I don't have to do. But then at some point, I convinced myself that, man, I should, because I want the similar goals. I started believing that that is what success was. And so I began to go down that rabbit hole. And it wasn't
Or,
on. Uh huh.
I just want to ask this question.
Yep.
Or was it you were afraid to be your authentic self? So it'd be easier to emulate and be someone else. And if it
That's
doesn't
it.
work, I can blame them because it's not me.
That's it. I think it was a mixture of both. And I like to say more on the other one because I'm afraid to say I was afraid. I'm afraid to admit that in my decision involved fear. You know what I'm saying? So, no, I think that's definitely a good point out to do, or a good thing to point out.
Yeah, man.
So
Fear is a motherfucker.
it really is, man. But it's also a beautiful thing, right? Because it can hinder you from something, or it can save your life from something, or it can give you that extra oomph to do something you would never ever do, right? Because we confuse fear for excitement a lot of times, And we confuse excitement for fear a lot of times. And so if we just pick a perspective that best suits our needs for our idea of success, ain't nothing can stop us. There's nobody in this world that can have an argument to convince you otherwise, as long as you don't stop believing in your perspective. That's why I now don't fight the people that don't want to change. When people come to us and like, man, I really, I have these goals in life and I'm just having trouble and I really want somebody to help me out. Oh, okay, I got you. I'm a friend. I can be a friend. What are you trying to do in your life? I want to work out. Okay, cool. Can you do some exercises at home? Yeah, I can do some exercises at home. Okay, do 10 push-ups, 10 sit-ups, 10 whatever. Do those that 3 times a week. And a week goes by. Hey, how you doing with that? Well, I had work and I have kids and I had this. Well,
It's not a priority.
exactly. So did you really want it? That's how I now know. I don't need to waste my time trying to convince you or show you that you actually don't want it. You want to say you say you want it. I've come to realize this. We as humans say we want something for what you said earlier, Ahmad, to fit in. Everybody else has that good body, that six pack. So you want it because everybody else wants it. But do you really want it? Because having a six pack comes in with dieting and exercising and this and that and that. You know what I mean? That's a package deal, and it's like, do you really want it? And I don't think most people do. But go ahead. What were you
Well,
gonna
I
say?
mean, I think some people do. I mean, they like the idea. I think that's the biggest thing, right? It's using, daydreaming, right? Oh man, that would be so nice. That'd be good. But they've already told themselves that it's not going to happen. So it's just a pipe dream. So it sounds good.
Yeah.
I do. I think everybody wants to work out. I think everybody wants to be compassionate. I think everybody wants to trust people. But that fear and that suffering and all the other shit that comes with it,
Mm.
I don't want to deal with it
Yeah.
because I want to be comfortable. Well, nothing changes when we're comfortable at
Mm.
all. Nothing changes.
Mm.
You have to put yourself in uncomfortable situations to one prove that the fear that you're actually feared of is all made up and bullshit. So
Mm.
scratch that off. Now you can do it. Now, okay, I can do it. Now it's about consistency. Oh
Mm.
shit. I've been doing it for 2, 3 weeks. I never thought I could. Now you keep going. And before you know it, now you are looking in the mirror and you see all the work and changes, and that's what drives you. But you have to take those steps first and understand that suffering is just part of it. That fear, and understand that the success, failure, all those things, it's just the process of how everything works. And that's okay. That's where
Mm.
that dedication and discipline, that consistency comes in.
I agree.
So I've been there though. It was me and an old girlfriend. We always talked about it. Oh yeah, we'll get together. When I didn't have nobody, she had someone. When I didn't,
Mm.
and then finally when we both didn't, it sounded good. We wanted to, but I knew I couldn't at that time of life. I couldn't be the person she needed me to be, and she didn't trust me. She
Yeah.
didn't have faith that I could be that person.
Yeah.
So it sounded nice, and in a perfect world, that's what we wanted.
Yeah.
But it never came because neither one of us we had the ability to be honest with ourselves,
Mm.
and we got the answer through our actions. You know.
Yeah, man. It's I'm trying to figure out what portion of our being is the most gullible, right? Is it the analytical brain? Is it the emotional being of our lives, or is it the physical being of our
Right.
experience?
It's the brain. All
You
day.
think so? You think so? I
You know
think.
why?
Why is that?
The brain will never tell you no. It will
Mm.
always justify whatever the fuck you want to do. It will never
Mm.
tell you. Your gut, your heart will tell you you're wrong. Your brain won't.
Mm.
Come on, man. You can stay out. Just get that last thing. Go
Mm.
ahead. Nobody's looking. You
Mm.
could do it.
Mm.
And what do? You sit there, yeah, no one is. I'm a good guy, right? Your brain's telling you the whole time, you're an excellent guy. And you should do that. You know why? Because you fucking deserve it.
Mm.
It's the brain. The brain is the one that will always give you the option to do what you should not be doing or what's unnecessary. The brain lets you off the hook. It is it is the enabler, in
What?
my opinion. Because where do you get the thought of the emotion to get the physical reaction? From your fucking brain.
So what about? There's a few things, but let's tackle one at a time. What about the heart? Right, the heart can everything logically tells you you're in an abusive relationship and an unhealthy relationship, but because your heart tells you you love this person, you stick with that. So you choose to logically bad situation you choose because of emotional connection to stay in that bad situation, right? So that is a stronger lie, in my opinion. What do you think?
For me it'd be hard to say because truthfully, most people in those types of situations, they don't leave because of love. They leave because of the fear. They leave because they feel no one else will love them.
Mm.
So that again, who's
Mm-hmm.
telling them all that? It's their brain. It is not your heart. Your heart is the one that told you you need to go. But because I'm afraid, I'm not going nowhere because no
Okay,
one
I
wants
see
me.
that. So what about the still laying with the heart as far as your opinion goes? This idea that we go and understand that we are loving people, but we don't know or understand how to truly love ourselves. So this idea that we're loving people or we're a loving person, but we are not properly loving ourselves, that fallacy, would that give it a, or would that be a contribution to make the heart the most gullible?
Well, again, if the
So you
you
still
kind of
you
answered it because you're like we're loving, but I don't know how to love myself. So then
hmm
you've never really loved anything.
so
So
that would be
what you're doing
logically,
is, yeah, you're
yeah.
doing another program behavior of what you saw
hmm
someone else do, or your parents, or the movies,
No, I hear
and you
you.
think that's what love is.
That
But
makes sense.
again, until you define what it is for you,
Uh-huh.
it's gonna look different. All of these is gonna look different for each person.
I can see that. I also the other one, which I now see the fallacy in it as well, is the what I was gonna say physically, right?
Yeah.
Physically, the body, the physical body will lie to you or can lie to you, and you can feel. So I was gonna ask, okay, so when your body tells you, man, I'm tired, I can't go on, and this and that, but then you push yourself and you find out, oh, you actually had 20-30% more type that, is
Hmm.
that you logically lying to yourself, or is that physical lying to yourself?
Again, the brain is telling the body to go
So it's all, so the strongest, most gullible part is our brain, and
because it's
also is the one.
analytical. Because that's the only thing that is analytical. The body and the heart is one. They don't.
It's just what, it's
They
just the
can't.
feel.
Yeah, they can't sit here and do the duality of it. They can't sit here and say, "Well, you can if you do this," because anytime I've ever wanted to do something, I and my gut told me no, my
Uh-huh.
heart told me no,
Uh-huh.
even my body at times didn't work, but
Mm-hmm.
my mind's still trying to tell me you got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man, we can.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, no one's gonna know. It's okay,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I'm sitting there, and basically it's like the hype man. It's never going to tell you no. If it's something you want to do, the brain is not going to tell you no.
So we conclude, right, that the most gullible and the
My
most
opinion.
lying portion of our being is our analytical mind.
Yes, in my opinion.
Wonderful. I agree. I agree. And the reason why I'm smiling, right, is because that is what we're using also. I want to get your opinion. Do you think that's the portion that we're using to heal?
I think that's the portion that you have to fight to understand healing is possible.
How do we understand without our own analytical mind?
Because if we're all from source and light, love, that's what it's all about. That's in our DNA. That to be kind and compassionate, that's in you. You don't have to do those things.
Mm-hmm.
But through our human experiences and traumas and situations, we have created another reality of a world that we feel we need to be cutthroat. We feel we have to put this wall up because of fear, yet again, the fear of being hurt, disappointed,
Mm.
taken advantage of, disrespected. Again, all of those are characteristics of the ego,
Mm.
which isn't you. It's a version of you that you're presenting to the world. And
Mm-hmm.
again, the ego is there to protect you and stand up for things and be that person that you're afraid to be at times, right?
Mm-hmm.
The ego is there. It's like the big brother. It's there to help you. It's here. It's to it it wants to have your best interest at heart, but at some point, if you don't share those decisions, the ego will completely take over,
Mm.
and then that's where it's a free fall. Because now you're asking yourself, how did I get in this situation? Because you're not thinking. You're just going off a reaction. You're
Mm.
going off a desire. You're going off a reaction. You're going off of an emotion. And that's where it goes completely wrong. When we now have the inability to be compassionate and think rationally, and we're just emotionally charged,
Mm.
it's never going to work out. And it's never going to be good for anybody, you know?
Mm-hmm. I the reason I brought that up is because I feel like there is a our mind is a yin and yang, is the it's a good and bad portion, right? The gullible and the smart. The That's why there's the left and the both sides of the brain. It's constantly, in my opinion, battling within each other to understand this experience, and at the same time make decisions based on the rest of our senses, physical, emotional, all that, right? And then having to make decisions in such a fast moment that creates the or has the ability to create a reality for that moment or a lifetime. That depends on how what we want to do to change our perspectives. But I also say that because we were talking about things like when not being comfortable in certain groups or doing certain things, being in certain places like parties or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and is that our analytical mind telling us that it isn't healthy anymore, or is that a fallacy that we're telling ourselves that is keeping us from possibly practicing our tools better or growing ourselves from
I,
avoiding those places or believing that we
I
need
would
to
say
avoid those places?
I don't think you have to avoid it, but again, you ask yourself that question: what
Mm-hmm.
purpose does it serve me?
Mm. Are you
It's
going there with a
prioritizing.
purpose? Okay.
Yeah, that's what that discernment I got from. It's like now understanding what it is in life I want to obtain, and if those activities do not help me obtain what I'm looking for, why am I partaking?
Yeah.
Why am I wasting my time?
Mm-hmm. That's important
And
questions to
that's,
ask.
yeah, and that's all it is. It's really going through, what do I want to get out of life? What ethical traits do I want to possess? What type of man do I want to be? What are my principles?
Mm.
You know? And if I'm looking for something spiritually, a lot of the stuff that I used to do is not, it just is not compatible. It's going to take me further away from what I'm actually trying to do. And not only that, if I'm continually to do old things,
Mm-hmm.
those emotions will come back up that I used to have.
Yeah.
And again, if I'm not comfortable, that ego is going to creep in and then it's going to tell me, come on, man, let's just, for old time's sake.
I,
You know
I,
what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. No.
let's go do it. You know how we used to do it, and that's the thing. It's just being honest with ourselves and really prioritizing our life, uh, where we want to be,
Mm.
and understanding the emotions that come with it, and that is it. Just being respectful of yourself and respectful for other people, because we've, no matter how we want to look at it, we've all been in the other person's shoes in every
Mm-hmm.
conversation. We've all felt disrespected. We've all been disrespected, and we've
Yeah.
all disrespected someone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've all, we, for the most part, we understand what it feels like. We know what it looks like, and you just again have to ask yourself those questions. Is it, do I have a need to say this to this person to get this type of reaction? Is it necessary? Is it important? And a lot of times we will entertain those things and
Mm.
we'll want to tell someone to fix themselves when they never asked us for the help to be fixed. Or we want to fix someone that wants to be broken. And it's like we just gotta realize like it's not my place until they ask. And
Mm.
then when they do ask, you gotta ask them. Well, you're telling me you want me to be honest. Are you fully honest with yourself? Because I'm not liable for your reaction.
Mm.
And if you want to get upset and take it personal, then there's no reason for us to even have the conversation.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I totally agree. I think that's that is important, and I'm glad that we kind of bringing it back here. For the viewers is that portion, and um, which is the automatic defense mechanism. Disclaimer says most definitely that is a even for
Mm-hmm.
myself. I think it's for everybody a great self defense mechanism to feel a certain type of way when somebody says something accurate, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're cheating and you get called out on cheating, the first thing you're gonna do is not gonna be like, ah, you caught me, you caught me. No, it's gonna be like, what? Nah, what? What you talking about? Like, try to get out. You know you got caught. You're getting caught in the action, but you still try to find a way to get out of the being caught, right? And we do that to ourselves, and that defense mechanism definitely happens when that. So now that we're opening up this conversations for the public and anybody interested, that is the key. That is the one disclaimer that we have. If you come in here and you're asking for feedback and you're deliberately asking for our perspective, be aware that that comes with that truthfulness behind it. It comes with a directness that isn't backed by any emotion other their logical experience perspectives. That's what are, at least for myself, that's what I can speak on.
Oh yeah, for me as well.
And I'm
It's
glad you mentioned
it's
that
not,
because
nothing is personal. At this
yes,
point, nothing is personal.
indeed,
Like I want the best for everyone,
indeed,
but I
including
can't do it for you. You know what
yep,
I'm saying? I can't. There's no one can do it. Not your mom, dad. It has to be you when
yeah,
you figure out. that enough is enough.
Another thing I
But
had to figure out that it's not just that, it's has to be for me. I can't do it for my kids. I can't change for my wife or my partner or whatever. I have to want to make changes in my life for me. It's great
hmm
that, these changes is going to make you a better person to be around those people, but the changes have to be for you, or because at least for me, I found out I let them go easily. Eventually, I say, fuck them kids, fuck that person. They'll do something that I don't like, and I'll be fuck that. And then by me saying fuck them, it goes fuck those goals as well. I no longer have
hmm
to be a better person because I'm no longer with them. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So I want to take a quick pause, real quick, to say, Disc Link, man, I appreciate you on that 7 month resub today. That was 2 hours ago. Thank you so much for being a constant support and participating. I'd love to have you in these conversations sometimes. You are a hard-working man, a young man, in my opinion, and you are in a relationship. You're doing so much that most of us are doing. I would love to get your perspective on these types of conversations and just to hear what you got to say. I think you have a very analytical mind and you are also well spoken. So we would love to have you here sometime. I'll send you some messages on Discord and see if we can get you in next Friday, hopefully. And Mr.
yeah,
Chow, welcome in, my brother. Appreciate you. Thank you for coming in. So most
yeah.
definitely, Disc.
And then a lot of people too. They they carry a conversation to respond, not to connect.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm.
to be right. You know, to just to be right.
Yeah.
To tell someone. And again, the fear, man. That's another thing. That inadequacy. The moment somebody tells us something about us that isn't perfect,
Mm.
everybody, oh my God. Ah. Well, the reality is none of us are perfect. And it's okay for someone to tell you, I don't like this. And it's like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
There's plenty of things you're not going to like about a lot of people.
Yeah.
And that's where when you get in those relationships, you have to figure out, is this person worth not? And are we willing to compromise and both work on those areas that we
Mm.
both aren't a fan of each other?
Mm.
But that will take maturity and that will take understanding for both parties to say, man, and you got to have that compassion for each other.
Yeah.
That awareness, like, man, how I tell her, you ain't shit or this and that. And of course someone's going to be react a certain way with that one, you
Yeah.
it's pretty fucked up. Just, oh, you ain't shit. Well,
Yeah.
what do you mean by that? Like, how am I not shit? What are the things that I'm doing to make you feel or see me at that level?
Mm-hmm.
Because in my opinion, now you cross the line. That's pretty disrespectful.
Mm.
But explain
Mm-hmm.
why, and if I can get that and not respond, but let that person dump it out, then you can kind of absorb it, chew it
Mm.
up a little bit, ask the probing questions you need, and then, hey, respectfully, I see your point, respectfully, but here's why I do this.
Yeah.
And now that person gets an opportunity to see why and how your brain works. And sometimes it's just the programming. That's just how we were raised.
Mm.
I couldn't tell you why I do it. I just do it. You know,
Very much so.
I need to stop saying it.
You know.
You know, yeah, I say that way too much.
So there's a lot
I
of
never
things.
noticed until right now. But
There's
I
a
got
few
these
things that we
headsets on.
do. There's a lot of few things that we do, but I'm glad self awareness is key. Oh,
Yeah.
another beautiful key to creating a desired human experience. And I'm glad that it's happening while live. We can actively dissect this, right? I don't want to do this. And is that awareness, but also that feeling that came behind it. What was the feeling when you heard yourself say that word? And why did it bother you to the point to making this much of a change in you?
You talking about the word I just said right now?
Yes, sir.
It wasn't. because I think I will always say it, but I've said it repeatedly. Like it's just been
Like, and like,
like
and like,
that. You know
totally
what I'm saying?
like,
Like we
like,
can't do it. We can't speak properly. It has to be yeah.
dude,
Like
and
like the
like,
kids. Like
totally like
I went to the park and like it was so like it was just like amazing. Like wow. Like and it's like what the fuck are you talking about? And that's why as I heard now that I have this the headset, next
big,
thing I know is like
yeah.
you know, you like what the fuck? Why do you keep saying that? Like, is
Yeah,
that
son.
I have other
Yeah, son.
words I could say. That doesn't have to be a filler word. God damn.
Shit. No, but that's what it
So
is, right?
it was just for me the redundancy, as if
Mm.
I don't have more in the vocabulary to actually speak.
What? Who told you that was a bad thing? Why do you feel that's a negative thing? Why do we go towards our kids or now ourselves to say, "Oh, no, no, no! I gotta." There's a way we have to talk. Somebody at some point had convinced us this is the way we must speak for a desired result. Do you feel like you can recollect where that became a portion of your life? Right? Because, again,
No,
I
well,
also feel
as
that way.
kids, I mean,
Mm-mm.
my I know my father would always correct me all the time.
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, it ain't yeah, it's yes.
Yeah.
Or see, I just said
You
Um,
but that's it, right?
uh,
That elephant in the
yeah.
room. Yeah. And
It's, it's all right. I'm work on it.
that's
I'm
it.
not perfect. It's okay.
That's it.
That's the beauty of it. Yeah,
Yes.
it's all right.
Yes.
You
It's
know,
okay. You know. That's all
you
right.
know, like wow, like fuck it. I'm gonna
And
work on it. That's all I can do is just continue to work on it. But I used to do that when I was in and people would give classes
mm-hmm,
and we'd write down how many times somebody would say a certain word.
mm-hmm.
Man, it was probably like and
Uh,
uh
um,
like
mm-hmm.
just like that,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And we'd write it down and then we'd like, man, yo, you said that shit like 24 times.
You
It was a
know.
2 minute class. It was a 2 minute class, man.
Yeah.
I
Those
was nervous.
exercises were real, and w- the amount of time, which is very little, that we actually take the time to acknowledge that, right? We
Hmm.
spend more time using those things that quote unquote bother us without noticing those things than the actual time we spend doing the actual activity. But we spend more time, all of that time, anxious about being perfect, completely ignoring the fact that we're not perfect, but we're still anxious about it. Most of my anxiety is unnecessary and logically does not make sense. Once I have those two down, I can say, what tools can I use to bring down the anxiety, bring down the chatter, bring down all this extra crazy shit,
Hmm.
right? Because now that's being, again, coming back to being aware. But man, it definitely Snipping coming in here with that don't laugh, man. You know what I mean? That's the same thing. Like don't look at the elephant in the room. As soon as I saw that,
Yeah.
I can't help but to fucking smile. Hold ass hope. But
But
yeah.
it was also for me when I was doing the public speaking,
That's it.
what
That's it.
helped me a lot was getting the interaction from them. So I'd do a brief thing of me
Mm-hmm.
and I'd flip it and have them tell me about themselves. So now
Mm-hmm.
they're forced to stand up and tell me and get up in front of all their people and do exactly what I'm doing. And the
Mm.
reactions is a lot different than them sitting down there thinking shit's sweet until they got to get up.
Yeah.
But once you do that, also everybody gets everybody gets comfortable and relaxed because
Mm.
now everything the ice has been broken. So we've all spoke out loud. We've all said our piece, and now we can have genuine conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Public speaking. I remember I was in Bahrain, and I took public speaking class for the first time, and that for me was the awakening time where somebody would point it out how many likes, stutters I had or did in the middle of a conversation. That for me was a big eye opener because I wanted to be a great public speaker, and that meant zero errors and being able to be super outspoken and speak perfect, whatever that meant, right? And to me, when I made it a goal to be X, that's when I became a real bad critic upon how I was, how I spoke, how I did this. Now that we're in front of the camera, now that we're having people engaged, now is the ums that become, it becomes an issue, right? It wasn't an issue before when we were chatting it up and we're shooting the shit in the middle, you know what I'm saying, in Germany, the middle of downtown Germany, blah, blah, blah. You and I having a deep talk, we don't count the ums. The ums don't matter. It have no significance because we are truly into the conversation, the fruit, the wisdom that we are sharing upon each other.
Let's say I don't even remember hearing one.
Exactly, because they don't matter. But we did. We do, right? Because we don't just stop just because the camera is on. Or, I mean, just because the camera's off. All of a sudden, we stop saying the ums and likes. No, that's just part of us.
It just gets highlighted.
And very much so, because now we're worried about how we're seeing. Can people understand me? Do people get it? Are people going to judge me now because I said how many ums? Like, I'm supposed to know what I'm talking about. If I say too many ums, that means I don't know what I'm talking about. That means I'm not prepared. That means all this shit we make up. The prince says, ooh, I hate public speaking. I failed that class. And that's, man, that was the easiest and hardest class for me, because all I had to do was be me, and I would have passed the class, right? All you have to do is be comfortable being you. And because I wasn't comfortable being me, it made the class that much harder. But the class was very fucking easy. It took a while. When you make fun of yourself a lot, everything else after is easy to speak out. I wanted.
Oh yeah, you saw that on 8 Mile.
Yeah. Mom spaghetti.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it works for some people, but again, not every tool is perfect for everybody. There are those few people that you make a joke or they make a joke out of themselves, and then they cannot get past that joke. They take that joke way too serious, and then it becomes a tool for the opposite use, and it beats them down, and it turns them into.
I don't think I've ever ran into anybody like that.
I feel like for them is more in the introverts.
Must be a Navy thing.
It possibly. Now I would say submariners thing. It goes down under. But yeah, that is definitely a tool disc that I personally use. Comedy for me is my thing. That's how I don't. When people are acting like assholes and I know they're gonna start making like fat jokes or this or Hispanic jokes or whatever, I'm gonna beat them to the punch to show them that it don't bother me. And so, like you said, I use that as a tool for me, and it has worked great to deal with unnecessary people. I feel like you do well with comedy as well, although more strict, Ahmad. You definitely use comedy as
mine's
a good
like
weapon.
real life comedy.
Yeah. On the spot. One of those you had to be there.
Yeah. Well, I would say it's probably sarcasm more than.
Yeah, that military banter.
Because I do have a little bit of British humor in me,
I bet you had a little British in you.
My mother is
Oh, that's right. She is British. Yeah,
Yeah.
British.
So I did grow
Dang.
up. I did get a lot of the culture and be there. So
Mm. Do you miss it?
yeah, I went back around the 4th of July. I went back, saw some cousins and stuff.
Ooh,
I did actually. It was nice.
I gotta check out some of those pictures, man.
No, I didn't really take too many.
Oh, okay. What's
I'm not a
more would
big
you come?
picture person. Yeah, you know me.
Yeah.
I don't really. I'm not. I don't really take too many. I don't post a lot of stuff. Uh,
Nah, I hear you, man.
so
Nah, it's a beautiful thing.
no,
Um,
it was good to go.
Not everything has to be published. Not everything everybody has to see everything we do in life. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
am now enjoying doing things for myself.
Yeah.
I
With the
enjoy.
your lady boy, nobody wants to,
Nobody wants to see all that. Not at the same time. You know what I mean? But though we are as humans, I feel like we're losing the art of storytelling, and so I much rather tell you about what happened to me than show you pictures of what I did. You know what I mean? And I think it encourages people to go out and do something. It allows us to use our imagination both as a speaker and as a listener. Storytelling is by far a form of art that has been used, since the dawn of man, of
Well,
speech, of
that was the
communication.
original form of entertainment. There was
It
no
is.
radio, there was no TV, there was no cell phones, there was no
Mm,
TikTok, Instagram.
we
I
were
think there's
forgetting.
too many options, man. We're overexposure, in my
Mm,
opinion,
I agree.
and we don't have the discernment anymore to know what's a priority and what's important to us.
Mm,
I do believe that, and we don't know what's true and what's false.
yeah. I was just speaking with somebody about that, the fallacies of life, and there are more things lying to us on a daily basis than we truly take acknowledge for, right? The way we see things, the way we experience things, most of that stuff is incorrect or different from what we actually make it. Great example is, we're looking at something, it's actually upside down, and once the information goes into our eyes, our brain flips it, right? The color on the leaf, most leaves, when they're, bright and green and all that stuff, we see, oh, look at that green leaf. When in reality, that leaf, it's every color but green. The only color that it's not is green, and that's why we see it. But because that's the only color we are able to see, we call that leaf is green. When we look at the stars, right? We Now that I'm learning about space and stuff, astrology, I'm realizing I, I see the stars and it looks like they're out there, but the astronomical distance that those stars are, and how light travels to get to me, and how one
Truman
blink,
Show.
that little blink is maybe a few seconds, but that blink traveled through space and time millions and billions of years is wild, right? And so overall,
No, it is.
yeah.
It's crazy, man. The
Mm,
distance, but they play a major role in a lot of things, man.
I agree.
All of that.
It shapes our
I
reality
was
and
gonna
our
say I
experience.
can't remember the date. It's January. Is it the January 25th or January 20th, 2025?
Okay.
All of the planets will be in one alignment.
No way.
Yeah, that'd be the first time in like over 2,000 years or something like that.
Whoa. There was
Yeah,
something,
man.
there was another thing about Mars, something happening with Mars you sent me a video of. I think it was you. It was like leaving its orbit or something like that, so it's gonna affect a few people. It was weird. But
No,
no,
that's
definitely out there, man. There's crazy things going on, and if we just stop for a quick second, stop worrying about our problems, and zoom
which
out,
we have none.
right? When we really truly zoom out, those problems kind of fade away because they're not really
Yeah,
problems that are
yeah.
that
We
really,
create problems, man. Like
for sure.
shit happens
Yeah.
for sure. Shit
Mm-hmm.
happens, but we create the problem. We turn it into something it isn't. We obsess over something, and then most of the time we obsess over it because we're society has already told us. Like you saw what I sent you the other day, right? That
Mm.
you don't need a credit score to buy a house.
Yeah, yeah, yep. I remember that one.
Sent you how to, yeah. So all these things they tell us, all these things we do, and it's all bullshit, man. Like
Mm-hmm.
it truly is, and that's where that discernment kind of comes in, where you start finding out your truth, what makes sense, and from there you prioritize the person you want to be, the life you want to live, and a reality and world you want to create for yourself.
Mm.
Because it's all possible. It's all possible. It's all there, man. And abundantly, the things that we need, we have.
Mm.
It's our society that tells us we're lacking. It's the program that tells us we need more. We're not enough.
Yeah.
You're not a success. You don't have the romantic comedy romance,
Mm.
and it's like you do realize all of that's entertainment, man. The romance novels, all that shit, they wrote that for you to buy it,
Yeah.
for you to want it, and then the world that you're in and the romance and life you have, now you don't want it, and now you're chasing some shit that's fictitious.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's wondering why, a lot of women are unhappy and single because
It reminds me of when you're trying to take attention away from a toy, from a baby. You just shine a different thing in its face from a different direction to, you know what I mean? And then before you know it, the baby loses its concentration on the original toy, and now it's all about the new toy or the little piece of candy that you give it or whatever it is, that immediate that instant gratification that you
huh?
get from something different.
And that's where we are. We're
Yeah.
simple creatures. We really are simple, man.
Yeah. I agree, brother.
And we're made to believe, legacy, and we're supposed to do all these magnificent things, but no, you're supposed to know who you are,
Mm,
your purpose. You're supposed to live with love. Like that is what's most important.
yes, I agree.
Not six figures, not a beach house. Like that shit's not in the society that's created, then that means something. But in the big scheme of things, the universe and why we're actually here and the purpose of everything and how everything's interconnected,
Mm.
you're missing the boat.
Most of us, idealize these people that have all these things, and then when they pass, we celebrate their lives, and we celebrate their words and wisdom that they leave behind, like, oh, everything I did, it didn't matter because, all these things I had didn't matter because family's important and this and that. So they tell us the answer, they show us by doing, and rather than listening to their actual wisdom, we still are blinded by the flashing lights and the goodies and whatever, and we still choose to go through what they went through because we think we want what they had. And then we just say the same thing that they left behind, saying, this wasn't worth it. None of this was worth it. None of this mattered, made a difference now that I'm dying. But yet here we
Hmm.
are doing the same race, getting the same things, doing the same stuff, complaining about the same things, just to get to the same ending and tell the next generation that didn't fucking matter. That to me is wild. That's why for me now I'm breaking the chain. And I don't not no longer talking about breaking the chain. I'm just breaking it. I'm doing it. I'm traveling. I'm doing my shit. I don't care no more about what anybody has to say. People are saying stuff. People call me crazy. People call me this. People call me deadbeat. People call me all sorts of shit. I don't care. I'm free, baby. I'm living, baby. I don't care what your perception is because my perception
So,
is so much more beautiful now.
so at what point did you realize that, but also have the willpower and confidence in yourself to be that free,
Those,
to say that?
I'm still at the point where I titter tatter. I got one foot in, one foot out, right? I'm still
Mm-hmm.
transcending. I'm still practicing living that. Not every day can I feel that way. There is still days where I get a text message from somebody that I care about calling me a bad friend. And I'll go in my bed and feel like shit and wonder why. Where did I go wrong? What could I do better? I still have those moments. I'm still a human being. But deep down inside, I now know the truth. It doesn't matter. I am now
Mm-hmm.
in the acceptance stage that I can choose. I can choose to feel bad about it and go down that road, or I can choose to not feel bad about it and go up that fucking road because that road is wonderful, right? And both give me a something to experience that I enjoy
Yeah.
because I can be honest with myself. I enjoy being sad. I enjoy being angry. I enjoy expressing all of my emotions. I'm no longer apologizing for enjoying to enjoy my emotions. I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I want to be sad, I'm going to be sad. But I know now I don't have to stay sad. I don't have to stay
Yeah.
angry. I don't even have to go down that, at all. And so for me, I think that's where it is. That's where I'm at. I don't think it was a pivoting point. It's a seesaw. It's a wonderful seesaw, man. And every day learning through conversations like this help me remember that. That's why these tools are important. That's why this book is important. That's why let me get it right here because I be doing my work. That's why this book is important. These are the books that keep me in a better mental place so I don't have to choose being unhappy when truly is a time to be happy. I don't have to be angry when is the time to be in a state of contemplation. That is a beautiful place where I'm at now. How about you?
Yeah. This book too, man.
You're gonna have to send that to me. Let me know the name.
Convoluted Universe. There's
Yeah,
actually five of them. That's book three. I'm almost done with that one. So I got to buy the other two.
bet, bet, bet.
But definitely opens your mind to possibilities you were
Mm.
already aware of, but it just provides a little more for me. The
Mm.
the oomph of like I knew it.
Ha! We all need that,
Like
and it's all
you
out
know.
there. It's all out
Yeah.
there. That's that book for you. There may be a book out there for you, all out there. So search for those tools because they're out there. And if
Yeah.
you find something that gives you that aha, that's it. That's what I needed.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the fuel to accomplishing goals. That's the fuel
I,
to enjoy life.
I was talking to Scoop today, and this is my theory. I told this is my first time telling anybody,
Mm.
but I was watching the kids play. I was like, man, I used to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And in these books, they talk about the soul can splinter, so it
Mm.
can go out and be on different dimensions, different parallel universes,
Mm.
all simultaneously, right? So I'm sitting here and I'm like, but that them playing, that was me. So then it was like, what if all of this is a representation of me? The kids are a piece of splintered me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My parents are me.
Mm-hmm.
So what I see in my mom, it's actually me. It's my soul. My
Mm-hmm.
dad is me.
Mm-hmm.
It's my soul. My grandparents. All of this is me,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all happening simultaneously on different timelines and generations.
Mm.
Because if we're here and all we gather and all the information and experiences we get, it goes back to source.
Mm.
Well, what better way or faster way would it work if everybody individually had their whole lineage simultaneously happen at once? And it's
I
all pieces of you and they're reflections of you.
I love that. I love that. And like you said, it's all experience that goes back to the source, and
Hmm.
in that thought pattern, God is us and we are God, because it all goes back to the same, and we're all going through it, right? And I love it. I love it. I absolutely
Hmm.
love that analogy. I It's interesting in the sense of scientifically, biologically, right? Our experience gets ingrained in our
DNA.
DNA, literal data in DNA that gets transferred to our kids, right? And we
Hmm.
got from our parents, from generations and generations that came before us and that will come from us.
Hmm.
In that sense, we are all sharing the same experiences, and it correlates and I would say proves your perspective, in that although it's a different perspective of the experience, we are all the same. So if you treat others the way you want to be treated, it's harmonizing because you're actually treating yourself always and forever. We just decide to separate ourselves. Oh, I'm different from the tree. I'm different from that
Hmm.
person. I'm not
And
that person.
that is a human being thing. That is taught.
Exactly.
That's
Indeed.
not an inherited thing.
That came from evolution, though. Our minds expanding, right? The ability, aha, just like what the conversations we are having now, they were having in Plato's days. In those
Oh
days,
yeah.
they're like, wait, I don't have to be this. I don't have to follow, you know what I'm saying, those rules, or I can
Yeah,
think about this
that's why
other
he got
things.
killed.
And that's why everything comes with consequences,
Yeah.
right? And do we have that ability? Possibly not right now, because we don't have a lot of people, like agreeing with us and whatnot. But let's say we had 100 million people in here, like, yeah, that's right. We see the light, blah blah blah. The people that don't want that, be like, hey, these motherfuckers need to go out. But that's another reason why I don't consider myself a leader, teacher, or anything like that. If anything, the only thing I would love to be or consider myself is a facilitator, because
Yeah.
I know how I can provide or facilitate an environment to have a healthy conversation. And that's what I love about us, man. I thank you for your time. I appreciate you taking the time from being all the way out where you're at, and having the family and stuff like that. But you prioritize this, just like I do. And for me, you meeting me halfway, and that is important when it comes to finding those real friendships, right? It's a reciprocating
Hmm.
friendship. Sometimes I need to do a little more and I pick up a little bit of slack, and a lot of times you get up and do more and you pick up the slack, and we go back and forth, and at the end of the day, we both, I feel like at the end of the day, we finish at a more calm, stable place than we used to be in 10 years ago, because we're going
Well,
on.
like you said, there's the expectation is it's not there. It's just authentically there's no reprisal or repercussion. I'm not worried about you if I say something you get offended, or I'm not worried about oh this person's working harder than me. They're doing this because at the end of the day, again, when you think of the big picture,
Mm,
it's about the connection and the respect for one another. And
yes.
with that, if you feel a certain way, then you can always ask that person,
Mm,
"Hey, man, you cutting. You're not having that type of. You're not meeting the potential. We discussed it. What's going on? Do you need help? Are you stressed? Do you no longer want to do it?"
yeah.
And again, if you can be honest with yourself, it will be that much easier to be honest with the person you're having the conversation with.
Mm, I agree. I agree.
And
And
as
I love
long
it.
as we're not taking anything personal, that's the key too.
Mm,
Not taking it personal. So if you say, "Hey, I no longer feel the desire to do this," I can't be like, "Oh, what the fuck?" You said you promised, and
yeah.
it's like, nah, you. People change their mind. The ideal was what they liked,
yeah.
but the reality came in, and the work that needed to be put in, and the things they needed to do, they're not up for it.
Yeah.
They're just not at that stage, and it's okay.
Yeah.
So now, if you about it, buddy,
About
do
it,
the shit
about
on
it.
your own.
That's
You know
it.
what I'm saying? If that's what you really and
Yeah.
they helped you get to this point, now it's your turn to do it on your own.
Mm,
And if you do nothing with it, how can you get angry at the other person? Because you're doing the exact same thing.
yeah. Hard truths to swallow, as or I guess people would say hard pills to swallow. But either way, it's definitely
Yeah,
something that it's
accountability.
not easy to accept, but it is there. It is visible, and at the end
It's
of the day,
necessary.
it is. Oh,
It's necessary, man. Accountability is key.
mm,
And that's what I've realized, over the last couple months and listening to Manly P. Hall. We have to be responsible for our actions and be accountable
mm,
for the emotions, what we think, feel, our reactions. It's our responsibility.
yeah.
It's nobody else's, man. And if we want something to change, we have to change it within to get the desired result on the outside.
Mm,
You can't change the outside to fix the inside. It does not work that way.
yeah. That's a hard truth I had to
Y-
learn.
Yeah, you can't turn the oven on and put the turkey on top and expect the shit to cook.
Yeah.
No, you got to stuff it on the inside and it will change. And
Yeah.
then you pull it out and there you go.
Got a meal. Let's
You
eat,
know?
baby. Let's
Yeah,
eat.
because and it's funny because we want to a lot of these things we want to make it complex, like it's a mystery, like a Rubik's
Hmm.
cube, and it really isn't. It's common sense. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Be responsible for your actions and
Mm.
accountability, and be accountable for how you feel, what you
Mm.
see.
That's so hard, though.
But it, it is
But it
because
isn't.
we've never thought about it and been forced to be in those situations to have to do it.
Mm.
What usually happens when we're little? We scream, we do our emotions, and mommy's there, right?
Yeah.
Or we do too much, now daddy's there with the iron fist.
Mm.
However, it is, somebody's there to assist us with that emotion, but
Yeah.
we never understood where the emotion came from
Or
and
why
why
we
it's
need it.
there.
Yeah.
You know what it's just, and,
Very
and that's
true.
the key. Is like you said, having that awareness and just seeing like it. We are emotional, and it's okay to be emotional,
Mm.
but we cannot let the emotions now dictate our decisions and reactions.
Mm.
It's just not because if that emotion is coming out of a place of fear, you know how that's gonna turn out.
Yeah.
You're probably not gonna do what is necessary for you to get to that next stage.
That's a great
If
point.
it if it's coming out of inadequacy, then you're probably gonna self sabotage. No
Mm.
matter what it is in your life,
Mm.
when shit's too good, you're gonna blow it up
Yeah.
because that's what you want to feel. You're reconfirming what you feel about yourself. I'm not. I can't do this. I'm not shit. So what do? We do little things to turn it out to be to validate we ain't shit.
Yeah. And then we're like, see, I knew it. I knew
Yeah,
it.
and that's what we're doing. Oh,
Yeah.
but we'll sit there and we'll cry. Ooh, it's always
Hmm.
happening to me. But that's because that's the reality you're choosing.
Yeah.
That's what you want, because in that reality, there is no expectations to be better. And you don't have to be responsible for that.
Mm.
You're in a safe place. And that's what people don't realize. When you take that emotion and have it with multiple situations,
Mm.
and the moment it doesn't go your way, you pull that the memory from the database, boop, you put it in and push play, and that bitch just goes. And then you
Auto
feel
replay.
sad. Then you get mad. Then you isolate. Then it goes, and then you feel like that way for 2, 3 weeks, sometimes 2 months. And the next day you wake up one day and it's like you feel great. And the next thing you know, it goes all over again. And we, like you said, we do it to ourselves because we're just not aware. We don't know where we're going. We don't know what we want, and
Mm.
we're ping ponging off of all these other expectations and success stories. We're comparing with people we don't know. We're comparing to people we do know, and like, that's, to me, that was the biggest trick, is to have us value everything outside ourselves.
Mm.
To me, that was the biggest deception of all humanity. You are the last person that can fix any of your problems. That's how it's set up.
Mm.
You want your problems fixed? Go to church. You got to have money to fix your problems. You need to work. You need to work. You need
Yeah.
to go to school so you can work. See, it's all a system. They're all connected to each other, and that's the structure. When in reality, I'm self-sustaining. I can do everything, and my body is the greatest machine ever made in
Mm.
human history. But we don't know how to take care of it because they knew that. We don't want you to know what herbs to eat, what fruits,
Mm.
how to eat, your certain sleep cycles, and because that will allow it to keep at the optimal rate, and therefore they can't break you down. It's
Yeah.
it's hard for them to control what you're thinking, how you're feeling. I'm telling you, man, it's amazing to once you know sit back and realize I'm fucking Captain Kirk, man. I'm in
Mm.
charge of this spaceship right here. Like I make everything run. I can solve all my problems. And most of the problems can be solved by realizing you don't have any.
Mm.
Truthfully, I don't have to measure up to this person. I don't need this big house.
Yeah.
I don't have to have the Mercedes. And a lot of times we do all of that to impress people that we don't even know, that don't even give a shit about us.
And then
That's
we,
what got me. Cause me, I always had to have the Lexus, right? I
yeah.
had to have and I would do it, and I get out the car feeling like I made it. I'm the shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I look around for someone to just acknowledge and tip the hat, like, yeah, man, good, yeah, yeah, great job, you're a success. Nobody fucking cared, man.
Yeah.
Nobody. I started realizing, like, why am I doing this? What am
Yeah.
I doing? No
Yeah.
one cares.
It's funny when we don't have it. It looks like everybody cares. When we finally have it or get it, you realize nobody cares.
Nobody cares, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the people that do, a lot of times, if you're doing really good, they just want to ride the wave.
Yeah. Ooh, what do you mean? You mean I can drive with you? Okay. Yeah, I'm happy for you. Let's
Yeah,
get into
ride
this,
with me,
baby.
drive
Let's
with
get
me.
in.
The parties, the place, they want a
Yeah.
piece of the life that you live in. They want to
Yeah.
ride the wave.
Without doing
And it's
any of the
like,
work that you had to put to
yeah,
maintain that lifestyle. But at the
yeah,
same time, right? I can be honest and say if I find an easy ride, I'm happy to take it. I know I shouldn't. I know it's better to earn it and all that stuff. But if
hmm
somebody was like, oh, Here's $1,000,000. You ain't got to do nothing for it. Just come over here and dance a little bit. Oh, okay. I'm gonna do a little. Sounds a little weird, but for $1,000,000, I'll dance a little bit. You know what I
Fuck
mean?
that.
Like, and I
I
will
ain't
consider,
dancing,
right?
man.
Like you say
I
that
would.
now.
I wouldn't.
You say that now, but have you ever? What have you done for less money? What have you given up for a lot less? Right? When we speak about on these terms, on real
Yeah,
shit,
but
real shit.
but see, at the you can also ask me where was I at that stage in my life.
Indeed.
If you asked me that question 5 years ago,
Hmm.
hell yeah, I'd be dancing
Exactly.
with some paste. I'd have pasties on.
And that's what I mean, right? For me,
But
I can
but
be honest with myself that I have that
now,
capability. Yeah.
well, I'm just saying for me
Indeed.
now,
Indeed.
I don't value money in that aspect,
Same.
and a lot of my suffering was
Hmm.
because I put so much value on that money.
Hmm.
So for me now, I don't look at it that way, and I have a different relationship. I
Yeah.
understand its energy and it's necessary for the society that is currently constructed,
Mm.
but it ain't the end all to be all. And I can have the life that I want without going back down that road or rabbit hole
Yeah.
to try to meet expectations where that society, the way it's set up, I will never reach the finish line.
Hmm.
It's not set up for me to reach the finish line.
Indeed.
They select who they want to finish that at the finish line.
Hmm.
So I'm going to continue to be doing the dancing monkey, doing all these things, being by beside myself, losing who I am morally, ethically, doing all this weird shit just to realize I'm not even part of the group.
Yeah. That's a hard truth
And I
to
did all
swallow
that
too.
for what? Yeah, I did all that for what? I lost myself
But
for
yeah.
what?
Yeah.
And
That's
and
what a
that's
lot of
what it comes back
celebrities.
to.
Yeah, that's what the celebrities
Yeah.
are finding out right now. I did all of this for what? Right? I went through all that turmoil. I did all those despicable things, and now
Yeah.
for what? For people to hate me. The same people that loved me back in the day, danced to my successes and celebrated all the
Mhm.
craziness. Now that it's out in the light and everybody has to judge, now everybody's like, "Oh, that's so bad. Oh, this. Oh, we condemn this man. Oh, that. Oh, no, that behavior is bad." Right? But we're still doing it. It's still happening. All this shit's still the same. So
Well, I
I
would say what's coming to light now is it's all this shit's been happening since the beginning of time. So
mm, and will continue,
humanity has
unfortunately.
not changed, and that's the sad part.
Yeah.
We but when you do look, if you ever look at like Yuga cycles, we are coming into the golden era
Mm-hmm.
of that 24,000 year last section
Mm-hmm.
to where there is peace and enlightenment. There's going to be a lot more
Yeah.
positive things going on than
Yeah.
previous because
Then the ice age is coming. The long night is coming. But no, I hear you, man. I think the as we continue through these cycles, because that's a lot of what this whole thing is cycles of
hmm
energy exchange and all these different things. I'm excited. I'm excited to be here, and things
yeah, man.
have been, things will be, but what truly matters is this right now. And so I appreciate you
Mhm.
being here. I appreciate sharing this time with me, brother. I gotta get going. And I'm excited for next week. So I will be um, leaving it up to you to kind of look at some stuff, and I'm gonna try to invite some folks to get in here. So I'm excited for next one. I'm gonna see if I can get Disc Link in here. 12 Unforgiven is another amazing Patreon here that has
Mhm.
shared his wisdom and will continue. Unfortunately, today he came down with the flu and was not feeling well, so he's getting his well
And
needed
the
rest.
heebie-jeebies, huh?
You know what I mean? But he's getting his rest, and he will be here when he gets better and continue to participate. I hope you guys were able to catch his podcast. Unfortunately, I wasn't. So he also has great conversations, but not but and he is also a part of ours. So I hope you enjoyed your time here. Thank you for being everybody that came by, stopped by, and is still here. I appreciate you guys' time, and thank you for participating in this wonderful, conversation that we just had. Again, as we continue to have these on Fridays, we encourage everybody to just stop in like you have done and engage, ask questions, and get conversations going. We are always open. We highly encourage to check out Manan Affiliates, the videos. The most of our conversations come from these videos. These videos are made based on the experiences that we're actively having. We have conversations of what we go through in life, and then Ahmad Jermaine has a wonderful talent of creating, putting everything that we share into a video format for you guys to kind of get the short version of what we kind of get. You guys get the fruit and juices of the work that we put in to the conversations and the time we put in to dissect what's going on within us, and we put it into a video format, and he does an amazing job. So Manan Affiliates on YouTube is a great place to get that. Food for thought, motivational, uplifting, all of the above place. And so definitely check it out and let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts. Come in while we're having these conversations, and we would love to hear your feedback about the videos, perhaps questions or comments, concerns, whatever it may be. We would love to have some engagement on that, and highly encourage it. And like always, I will hand over the mic to Ahmad for our 3Ls. Unless, oh, and also any other thoughts that you may have, or closing
No,
thoughts.
I was just gonna say, thank you for everybody that stopped by, to listen to what we have to say and be entertained, but yet possibly educated and assisted on the journey. Because it's a wonderful journey. It's amazing to be alive. We just have to take time to see that and see the beauty in everything we're going through. But with that being said, lead with love, take time to laugh, and never stop learning.
Never stop
Those are the
learning.
3 L's.
One love, brother. Everybody have a great day. We out.
Thank you for joining us and have a good night. Lead with love, take time to laugh, and never stop learning. Thank you for joining us and have a good night. Lead with love, take time to laugh, and never stop learning. Thank you for joining.